参加今天的财务电话会议。现在由我先向各位投资者介绍EHang2021年上半年的发展情况，以及下半年的业务规划。就像上次财报我跟大家讲过，EHang会率先尝试自动驾驶空中交通的运营。在最近几个月里，我们EHang人在为这个激动人心的时刻不断的努力，并且为着商业化运行努力做好准备工作。相信大家都知道，EHang未来的主打产品现在不仅仅只是EHang216了，还有我们刚刚发布的 VT30。VT30 的发布很好的展现了EHang在空中自动驾驶领域的技术实力，同时也弥补了EHang 216在长距离飞行的局限。而我们首先要开通运营的是由EHang 216承载的城市空中交通，让城市内的空中出租车变为现实。谢谢大家，相信大家都知道，我们在近两年来，到目前为止已经进行了大量的载人和载物的试飞活动，而且直至现在依然有很多人期待着乘坐我们的EHang 216，感受自动驾驶的乐趣。但EHang造的不是飞机，造的是安全。这些年里，我们不断的试飞，而且保持试飞的安全，同时我们也积累了很多的小问题，我们需要认真的思考和改进，这也是我们近期正在做的事儿。在适航标准的制定和取证完成的之前，我们要做到完备的准备，去迎接更大量的飞行活动，让EHang在未来真正的运行过程中做到安全第一。然后在销售方面呢，根据以往的订单，上半年我们共交付了18架EHang 216系列的自动驾驶飞行器，其中第一季度交付了15架，第二季度交付了3架。我们在 AAV 的销售部分业绩可以看出，正如我们上次财报电话会议中阐述过的，EHang正在经历从单纯的自动驾驶飞行器销售模式，逐渐过渡到平台运营商的模式。接下来我很高兴与大家分享一下我们的空中交通100线计划的进展。到目前为止，我们已经筛选并且实地考察和测试了7个以上的运营区域，除我们的合作商的运营区域外，大部分都在中国华南地区。我们将业务定位为新型空中交通模式，包括跳岛、低空旅游，还有郊区的接驳等多种应用场景。我们从一开始专注于粤港澳大湾区，并计划逐步扩展到中国其他地区。迄今，我们已经规划出了15个目标自营地点，其中6个在广东省，6个在长三角地区。我们还计划协助我们的客户在另外的21个地点开展运营业务。在取证方面呢，我们与中国民航局在EHang 216适航证方面合作进展顺利。民航局从2021年1月19号正式受理我们的申请之后，并从国内招募了20多个适航专家，组建了一个审查专项小组，开展认证工作。目前已经在广州和贺州顺利完成了相关的审查工作会议和实地的考察试飞。在充分了解了EHang 216型号的设计特征的基础上，审查工作组与EHang就很多重要的议题达成了共识。目前适航审定工作正在按照计划的思路和进度有序的加快进展。而且在这件事情上，我们把EHang 216的型号认证工作作为我们公司的首要项目。我们期望在今年第3季度内与中国民航局共同制定适于EHang 216的载人级自动驾驶飞行器的适航审定标准。这也将在全球行业内史无前例，并且EHang 216有望在接下来4到6个月内获得中国民航局颁发的型号合格证。我们也一定会更加的努力，争取在今年年内提前完成这个目标，取得适航证。新产品方面呢，我 我们于2021年5月发布了VT30，这是一款全新的垂直起降的机型，它是适应于更长航程的城市空中交通，设计续航里程长达300公里以上，设计续航时间大于100分钟，与现在用于城市空中交通城市中短途空中交通的EHang Q216形成了有益的互补。目前 VT30正在进行大量的内部试飞测试，并且取得了非常良好的进展。大家都知道我们的EHang 216F 等相关产品填补了城市高层灭火的空白。我也很高兴的告诉大家，2021年7月份，我们成功的通过了中国国家消防设备质量监督检测中心对EHang 216F 的技术检测检验，进一步验证了我们产品的可靠性，并且取得了消防认证，并且这样的话就为我们EHang 216F 接下来的商业化应用铺平了道路。随后我们会开始陆续的推广和签订EHang 216F 的相关订单并交付。在国内，我们会跟多地的应急消防部门消防救援的活动消防救援中发挥出显著的优势和重要的作用。随着2021年6月，我们在广东云浮的新生产基地正式投入运营，我们的产能得到了提升。该基地呢，主要用于EHang 216系列等自动驾驶飞行器的生产制造。一期占地24000平米，设计初期年产能约为600台。由于广东省的疫情原因，原定8月18号举办的一航云浮投资者活动日被当地政府相关部门临时取消了，我也表示非常的遗憾。但是我依旧希望等待疫情的政策稍微好转以后，我们会择期举办这样的活动，向投资者提供面对面的实地考察交流的机会。今年上半年，我们继续开展了大量的试飞活动，这也是与中国民航局先行先试、审运结合的监管思路相符合。这些活动呢，包括了大家都知道很多人都看到了有中超开幕式，还有数字中国建设峰会载人飞行的演示，还有我们在日本的首飞，还有北京的首飞，还有横琴至东澳岛海上航线的试飞。在广州抗击疫情期间，我们还应用了多架EHang 216，还有216L 货运版等自动驾驶飞行器，为隔离区的人员运送医疗物资和日常应急物资。在国外欧洲，我们成功入选，在欧洲呢，我们成功入选并深度参与了多个欧盟支持的城市空中交通项目，并在西班牙、法国、意大利等地与政府和合作伙伴达成了广泛的行业合作。展望2021年下半年，我们预期将陆续销售并交付我们的自动驾驶飞行器到欧洲。虽然业务模式的转变过度，我们准备了至少12到24个月充足的现金，让未来的业务平稳的推进。可能会导致短期的销售收入有所下降，但更重要的是，我们将持续加大力度推进空中交通百线运营计划的筹备与逐步落地，继续扩大运营点，还有航路，增加试飞频率，拓展空中交通网络的合作伙伴，并不断的扩充现有的专业运营团队，让运营收入尽快的成为公司的主要收入来源，成为全球第一个商业化运营城市空中交通的公司。在最后，我想一航会朝着成为城市空中交通运营平台的战略目标一步步的迈进。同时，我们很高兴的看到有越来越多的上下游企业加入到 UAM 这个新兴的产业中来，并且我们有信心在蓬勃发展的全球 UAM 市场中，始终保持一航的领先地位和综合竞争力。谢谢大家， 下面请我们的 CSO Edward 给大家继续介绍。
谢谢胡总。Thank you, Mr. Hu. Hello, everyone. I'm Edward Xu, Chief Strategy Officer of EHang. First, I'm glad to help translate the CEO's remarks into English. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining our earnings conference call today. I would like to start by sharing with you our business progress for the first half of 2021. Then, I will give you some highlights on our business plans for the second half. As I shared with you in our last quarterly earnings call, EHang has led the way in UAM operation with the aim to become an urban air mobility platform operator empowered by our autonomous aerial vehicles. To achieve this exciting goal, we have made relentless efforts and careful preparations in the past few months. As you know, we newly released our VT30 passenger-grade AAV as one of our flagship products besides the EHang 216. The release of the VT30 fully demonstrated our technological strength in the field of AAV industry, and it is also complementary to the EHang 216, which is designed for short to medium range intercity air mobility. Our priority is to launch intercity air mobility first, with the application of EHang 216 to make urban air taxi a reality. I believe many of you know that we have made quite a number of trial flights carrying passengers and cargoes during recent years. There are still people looking forward to taking a ride with our EHang 216 for flight experience. But I think what EHang has done essentially in the past few years is not only to build AAVs, but to build safety. Over the years, we have been making trial flights with good safety records. Meanwhile, we have accumulated abundant experiences and also problems that may help us think seriously for further improvement, which we have been working on recently. To ensure top safety records in the upcoming operations of our AAVs after the formulation of airworthiness standards and completion of the certification process, we have been making comprehensive preparations from various perspectives. In terms of sales, we delivered 18 units of EHang 216 AAVs in the first half of 2021, including 15 units in the first quarter and 3 units in the second quarter. As we mentioned in our last earnings conference call, EHang is gradually transitioning into an operation platform model from a product sales-centric model, which is also reflected in our actual AAV sales performance. Next, I'm glad to share with you the progress of our 100 air mobility routes initiative. As of now, we have screened and tested 7 operation spots, most of which are located in South China, in addition to the ones that are operated by our partners. We position our operations as new transportation mode for island hopping, low-altitude aero tourism, and suburban transportation. We started by focusing on South China and plan to expand gradually to other areas in China. So far, we have targeted 15 self-run operation spots. 6 are in Guangdong province and another 6 in the Yangtze River Delta region. We also plan to assist our customers to conduct operations in additional 21 locations. Meanwhile, our collaboration with the CAAC for EHang 216 type certification is going on very well. CAAC has officially accepted our application on January 19th of 2021. It has spearheaded a project team by recruiting over 20 experts from the country to start the certification process. We have held several rounds of review meetings and inspections in Guangzhou and Hezhou. Critical consensus has been reached between the expert team at EHang on the basis of complete understanding of the design features of the EHang 216. Now, the type certification process is proceeding in an orderly manner in accordance as planned. We have taken the EHang 216 type certification program as the company's top priority. We expect to work with the CAAC to formulate airworthiness certification standards for the EHang 216 passenger-grade AAVs in the third quarter of this year, which will be unprecedented in the aviation industry. In addition, we expect to obtain the type certificate for EHang 216 within the next 4 to 6 months. We will strive to complete all the relevant certification and inspection work ahead of schedule within this year. In terms of new products, we have released our brand new type of hybrid eVTOL, the VT-30, in May of this year, which is designed for longer range urban air mobility. VT-30 is designed to travel a distance of up to 300 kilometers with a designed flight time of up to 100 minutes. It complements to the existing EHang 216, a product focusing on short to medium distance intracity air mobility. Currently, VT-30 is undergoing a large number of internal trial flights and has made good progress. Our EHang 216F, the firefighting model, and other auxiliary products have filled the gap in urban high-rise firefighting. In January of 2021, we successfully completed the technical examination of the EHang 216F by the China National Firefighting Equipment Quality Supervision Testing Center, which certified the reliability of our products as firefighting equipment and paved the way for the commercialization of the EHang 216F AAVs. Subsequently, we will start to promote, sign, and deliver the EHang 216F related orders. With so many technical advantages, we believe it will play an important role in the real scenarios of firefighting, rescue, and emergency activities in various places. With our new production facility in Yunfu, Guangdong, officially put into operation in June of 2021, our production capacity has been increased. The facility is mainly used for the production of the EHang 216 series of passenger-grade AAVs and others. Phase 1 covers a gross floor area of 24,000 square meters and has a designed initial annual capacity of about 600 units. Although the Investor Day, which was scheduled to be held at the new Yunfu production facility on August 18, has been unexpectedly called off by the local government right before the event due to the re-emergence of the COVID-19 cases in Guangdong. We still hope to reschedule the event after the lift of the traveling ban. We will then expect to provide investors with opportunities for in-person visits and communications. In the first half of the year, we continue to carry out a large number of trial flights, which are in line with the CAAC's regulatory methods to encourage trial flights first and integrate the trial operation experiences into the certification process. For example, we made a trial and demo flights at the opening ceremony of the Chinese Super League in Guangzhou, at the Digital China Summit in Fuzhou, in Japan, and in Beijing for the first time, and over South China Sea from Zhuhai's Henqing to Dongao Islands, etc. In June, we participated in the anti-COVID-19 campaign in Guangzhou by transporting medical and emergency supplies to quarantine areas using the EHang 216 and the EHang 216L AAVs. In Europe, we have successfully been selected and deeply involved in a large number of urban air mobility projects supported by the European Union and have reached extensive industry collaborations with the government and the partners in Spain, France, Italy, and other countries. Looking forward to the second half of the year, we expect to continue to sell and deliver our series of AAV products. During the strategic transition of our business model, we have also maintained sufficient cash reserves for at least 12 to 24 months to support the smooth progress of our business development in the future. Although the transition may lead to a potential decline in the short-term sales revenues, we will continue to vigorously advance the preparations and the gradual implementation of our 100 air mobility routes initiative, which we view as more important, through continuously expanding our operation spots and routes, increasing the frequencies of trial flights, expanding the existing professional air mobility operation team so as to create income from our operations and make it eventually become our main pillar of revenue stream, and to enable EHang to be the world's first company to start the commercialization of urban air mobility operations. And last, I would like to say that EHang will move step by step towards our strategic goal of becoming an urban air mobility platform operator. Meanwhile, we are very pleased to see that more and more upstream and downstream companies are joining the emerging UAM industry. We are confident that EHang will continue to lead the way and maintain our comprehensive competitiveness in the global UAM market. Thank you for all our investor support. Above were Mr. Hu's remarks. Following his remarks, I'm going to elaborate on our strategic transitioning in the first 2 quarters and our plan for the future. As we have defined our goal as to build an advanced global UAM operation platform, we have switched our focus more towards AAV operations in second quarter of 2021, which led to a scale down in our sales level. Moreover, the re-attack by COVID-19 in South China had adverse impact on the sales and the deliveries of our AAVs in the period as well. On the other hand, we started to explore the field of practical UAM operations. Specifically, we built our UAM operation team by recruiting industry professionals from world-class organizations. We believe we are able to leverage their valuable experiences and backgrounds in leading aviation and mobility companies such as Airbus, Hainan Airlines, Hong Kong Express, Hong Kong Airlines, CITIC Helicopter, BMW, IBM, etc., and to build a whole new operation platform for AAVs, what we call UAM 3.0. More importantly, we have started to implement our 100 routes initiative by screening and testing appropriate spots for UAM routes. So far, we have screened and tested 7 spots for AAV operation, most of it located in South China. We position our operation to offer a new transportation mode for island hopping, low-altitude aero tourism, and suburban transportation. Our initial focus is on the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Great Bay area, and plan to expand gradually to other areas in China. Based upon our latest operation plan, we have targeted 15 self-run operation spots, including 6 in Guangdong and 6 in East China. We're also planning to help our customers to launch operations in 21 spots, including 10 in Guangdong and 4 in Guangxi. In achieving our operational goals, we are working broadly with our local partners, including government authorities and business organizations from industries such as real estate, tourism, construction, transportation, and aviation, who are able to share their valuable resources, especially in island and in land and infrastructure. Our goal is to build a mode to give us a first-mover advantage in the UAM industry. Meanwhile, our collaboration with the Civil Aviation Administration of China for EHang 216 type certification is going on very well. The CAAC has officially accepted our application on January 19th of 2021. It has set up a project team by recruiting over 20 experts nationwide to start the certification process. We have held several rounds of meetings and inspections to conduct airworthiness reviews of the design, safety, and operations of our EHang 216 AAVs. We are hopeful that the further reviews and tests will be completed in the next 4 to 6 months, when the type certificate for EHang 216 could be granted by CAAC, which shall pave the way for larger-scale operations of our AAVs. Looking ahead, we will continue to implement our 100 urban air mobility route initiative by accelerate the testing process. We will strengthen our existing partnerships with key entities, including CAAC, local governments, and business organizations. We expect to acquire new resources by demonstrating our successful models, which should further expand our operational scale. Meanwhile, we will also actively look for various business opportunities to better monetize our model at this stage. by generating ancillary revenues from advertisement, static displaying of AAVs, student camps, training schools, wedding shows, etc. I will now turn the call over to our CFO, Mr. Richard Liu, to provide the financial results. Richard, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward, and hello, everyone. Before I go into details, please note that all numbers presented are in RMB, unless stated otherwise. All percentage changes are on a year-over-year basis, unless otherwise specified. Detailed analysis are contained in our earnings press releases, which are available on our IR website. I'm going to highlight some of the key points here. As our business is strategically transitioning into a more operation platform-oriented model, we sell AAV products to third parties and at the same time are shifting towards an operation platform-oriented model. The shift is gradual and important. Our revenues indicated a delicate balance during this strategic transition period. In Q1 2021, total revenues were 23 million, an increase of 22.1% year-over-year. The EHang 216 series of passenger-grade AAVs sold in Q1 was 15 units, compared to 9 units in Q1 last year. Q2 revenues were 12.2 million, a decrease of 65.9% year-over-year because 3 units of AAVs were sold in Q2 compared to 16 units sold in Q2 last year. This revenue decrease in Q2 is an anticipated impact of the strategic transition. We continue to optimize the cost structure of our air mobility products and improve overall gross margin. Q1 gross margin was 63.2%, an increase of 3.9 percentage points from that in Q1 last year. Q2 gross margin reached a record high of 68%, 10.4 percentage points increase year-over-year. This was mainly due to the completion of a higher margin command and control system for smart city management project, in addition to continuous cost structure optimization in Q2. Adjusted operating expenses, which are operating expenses excluding share-based compensation expenses, increased by 3.4 million to 34.5 million in Q1, and by 24.5 million to 59.9 million in Q2, compared to the numbers in the same period of last year. The increase in Q2 was mainly due to the continuous increase in R&D expenditures for developing and upgrading AAV models, including the newly released long-range VT-30 designed for intercity air transportation, and increases in prudent provisions related to the new virus outbreak impacts, and additional expenses related to the extended filing of our 2020 annual report. Adjusted operating loss in Q1 2021 was 17.3 million, 1.9 million improvement compared with that of 19.2 million in Q1 last year. In Q2, adjusted operating loss was 49.4 million compared to 11.1 million in last Q2 due to lower revenues and higher adjusted operating expenses in Q2 this year. As a result, adjusted net loss in Q1 2021 was 13.7 million compared with that of 18.5 million in Q1 last year. And in Q2 2021 was 49.1 million compared with that of 11.7 million in Q2 last year. In respect of the balance sheet and the cash flow, we ended the second quarter with 406.5 million of cash and cash equivalents and short-term investments, which we believe are adequate to support operations for the next 12 to 24 months. More importantly, we achieved again positive quarterly operating cash flow in Q1 this year of 16.2 million. Last time was in Q4 2019. This again reflects the unique inherent value in our business and the continuous efforts that the company has been taking to run a healthy operation and minimize the cash burns in the development process. And now let's turn to the business outlook. We expect to maintain the annual revenue forecast in 2021 in the range between 130 million and 180 million as we strategically transition into a more operation platform-oriented model. and the commercialization of EHang Q2, the firefighting model, among other products. That concludes our prepared remarks. So let's now open the call for questions. Operator, please go ahead.
Certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel a request, please press the pound or hash key. Once again, it is star followed by 1 on your telephone keypad if you wish to ask a question. We have the first question coming from the line of Tim Xiao from Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hi. Thanks for taking my questions and congrats on the results. Question from my side. The first one, I think Mr. Hu, at the beginning of this call, mentioned that the company has a good progress in terms of transforming into the open air transportation operator. So on the full year basis, could you please share some further information? How much of the revenue or how many percentage of the revenue could be contributed by this kind of air or urban transportation related operation? And my second question is about the volume sales, because you mentioned EHang shipped 18 units in the first half. So just based on our guidance, it means that second half we still need to have some progress. But in light of the recent COVID lockdowns, what's our latest guidance regarding the volume? And how many of the units would be contributed by something like the government project, for example, EHang 216F? So those are my questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. This is Edward. I'll answer your first question. I try to answer your first question because we may not have everything, the numbers there. As you know, that in the first half, we have been moving gradually from, sales-centric model more towards the operation platform operator model, right? And but now the key bottleneck is still the regulatory issue, i.e. the type certification. So that's why we are also very focusing on this type certification. But why we are moving towards the operation so early is because in order to achieve this goal, we need to do more preparations, and especially to set up our team. As you know, we recruited the professionals from world-class organizations and set up a very talented team. And also we need to accumulate enough experiences. And so as you can see, especially in the second quarter of this year, we made a lot of these preparations technically and in human resources, and also we visited so many places and did screening and testing of different spots for real operation, right? So that's all. I think we are still in the very early stage to prepare all these necessary elements. This is a very necessary step for us to do, right? And so far, I think we made a very good preparation, and looking into the second half, we're going to launch the operation very smoothly. And in the next few months, you are going to see the release of more operation routes, and so which is a proof of our work. But in terms of revenues, as I said, so far based upon our estimate, for each AAV, our target is to generate about 1 million RMB of revenues. But this is based upon the approval by the CEC, which means that after obtaining the type certificate. So at this stage, we are trying to explore the business opportunities from the ancillary revenue. So for example, we made a very good contract with our advertisement client who would like to pay for displaying the logos in the bodies of our AAV, right? And also we round up with some corporate customers. For example, one corporate customer in second quarter, they contributed about 100,000 RMB for revenue, right? Which is with only this one customer. So we are trying different ways of generating revenues from our existing equipment, right? But still, we acknowledge that it is too early to tap the full potential of commercial revenues because we are not able to explicitly sell tickets for passengers taking a ride of our AAV, right? But with a lot of trial flights and experience accumulated, this would definitely pave the way for our further commercialization, which is planned after the certification. So I think, as Mr. Hu mentioned, we did very well in terms of this CAAC collaboration. And so we are very hopeful that the type certification could be obtained within next 4 to 6 months, right? So I hope I made myself clear to you. And the next question will be answered by Richard.
Tim, this is Richard. Thanks for the question. The second question I understand regarding the kind of the product sales situation. As we discussed a lot in our remarks, we're in the strategic transition from a product sales focused model to a operation platform oriented model. And also, as Edward mentioned earlier, in the second quarter, the reattack by the COVID-19 outbreak in Guangdong had a adverse impact on the the product sales of our AAV in the quarter. But looking into the second half or the remaining period of this year, it is expected that our product sales focus will be more toward the firefighting model, EHang 216F, which that the technical examination by an SFE has been completed. After that, the technical examination completion, we actually have been working with the local emergency department and the fire department of several cities, as we explained in our earnings release, such as Qingdao City, Guangzhou City, Hezhou City, etc., to utilize EHang 216F in the urban fire rescue drills in those cities with those departments. So this has laid a good solid foundation for the ongoing onward commercialization of EHang 216F. And our business team have been following up with the the relevant department in those cities, try to materialize the actual order. And there will be more cities in the progress.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing all the details, Edwin and Richard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is star followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypads to ask a question. Once again, it is star 1 to ask a question. We have pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, it is star 1 on your telephone keypad if you wish to ask a question. We have the next question. This is coming from the line of Vittorio from Grimaldi. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Just one question to try to better understand the shift of your business. Basically, you are saying to the investors that you are not more interested to sell products, but you still have some facility, as far as I understand, going forward. So, going into the future, do you think that the product making will be the big guys, like just to mention some guys like Boeing, Airbus, and so on, and you will be only, let's say, as you say, managing the route, the infrastructure, all these kind of new framework that these aerial urban mobility we do need. But I don't know if you have a sort of projection when you say, okay, we need authorization, we need approval. You mentioned that you already have 15 routes, you may add 20 routes. The difficulty I have, maybe you have as well, because it's a completely new business, is how to tend to translate the fact that you get, let's say, 35 routes into potential free cash flow. So the question is, can you give to me, if you may, a flavor of one authorized route, let's say in China or in Spain and Italian or in Italy, can translate for you in terms of operating free cash flow. And because I think that usually the product, because I never believed that you could make the product, because to make the product, frankly speaking, you need a lot of capex, maybe. And frankly speaking, investor doesn't like, to make a lot of capex. It's a pretty interesting, really new company like you, because the capex for you needs to have a lot of money that you have for your current business, but it means, to have a lot of money. So if you just can give to me a flavor of how to turn, let's say, one authorized route with the one platform base into operating free cash. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Let me clarify that we're not saying that we're not selling our products. Actually, we are. Our new facility in Yunfu has just been launched, and which increased our capacity to 600 units per year, right? So basically, as Richard mentioned, our sales will still going on, and maybe we'll be more focused on the EHang 216F, the firefighting version, and as well as maybe some logistic version as well. But in terms of the standard EHang 216, we are, more focusing on the operation, because operation is very important. Without operation, there is no way for the ultimate commercialization. So, but meanwhile, we still receive the good interest from our customers who are, willing to buy. So the reason we are launching our self-operation model is just to set the model for our customers. And we are launching our operation route successfully, and so that it can demonstrate the real value, right? Because as we estimate, the operating margin of operating AAV can be as high as about 35% or even 40%, right? Depending on the scale. So, which can prove to be a very successful investment right? So be attractive for our customers who would buy our AAVs for commercial purpose, right? So we are actually doing two ways. One, on one hand, we are launching the operation on our hand, and we are also helping our customers to launch operation. And so that's why this 100 air mobility royalty initiative is about. But on the other hand, we are welcoming our customers, our new customers, to buy the AAVs from us. And we integrate, consolidate all the operations on our platform. So that's a value of our platform. So I hope I make this very clear, and hopefully this answers your question.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Yes. So it's when you say you shift into another, it's still an integration between your production and these, let's say, all other kind of peculiar facilities. But still, you are going to produce the vehicle, basically.
Yeah, we still remain the OEM producer. We will continue to produce our AAVs. Yeah, that's for sure.
Thank you. Seeing no more questions on the line, I would like to hand the conference back to Mr. Liu. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, operator. And thank you all for participating on today's call and for all your support. We appreciate your interest and look forward to reporting to you again next quarter on our progress.
Thank you.
Operator.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our conference call for today. Thank you all for your participation. You may disconnect now.